Good morning, good people. Hope you all had a great weekend and you are on to your favorite bilingual program, The Brief, where we get to dig several layers beneath some of the striking headlines the papers carry in Cameroon. On today's edition of the program, the newspapers this morning brought to us some headlines like the Babaju-Bamenda stretch of route and equally COVID-19 funds or management of COVID-19 funds in the country. As you all know, the audit bench of the Supreme Court recently published a finding as ordered by the President of the Republic of Cameroon regarding the management of the 180 billion COVID-19 funds in the country. Audrey Zaxa is here as usual to read the headlines in the French language for you. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Lasha Kingsley. Bonjour à vous, fidèles téléspectateurs. Eh bien, la gestion des fonds Covid meuble la presse écrite francophone ce matin et on débute tout de suite avec Mutation qui en parle d'ailleurs et titre à sa une Sauve qui peut. Alors que l'indignation monte au sein de l'opinion publique, les ministres plaident non coupables, la solidarité gouvernementale, la rude épreuve. Vous lirez donc ceci à la page 3 et 5 de Mutation. Poursuivons avec les titres en langue française. Place à toi, Lasha Kingsley.
Thank you, Rizak. Let's kickstart with the entrepreneur newspaper of Swahili Tria. This morning, the newspaper is interested in the Babaju-Bamenda stretch of road, which, according to the newspaper, is another crisis in the making in the northwest region of the country. Entrepreneur newspaper says the construction works on that road, which was ordered by President Paul Biya for over many years now, is still not completed. We are told that the Bamenda Babaju road, according to the newspaper, might spark another crisis in the northwest region of the country. And if the crisis, according to the newspaper, which started in 2016, has endured beyond the expected or the expectation of many, including those who started the crisis, is due to the negligence of the government in addressing the root causes of the crisis. On April 2020, Paul Tasson and John Donatus were given the responsibility to reconstruct the crisis-hit regions of the country. In the place of reconstruction, a new crisis is in the making as the northwest region is isolated to itself due to the deplorable state of the Bamenda Babaju stretch of road. More details in this edition of Entrepreneur newspaper of Swahili Tria. We continue with the Post newspaper. The Post newspaper this morning revisits the raids ongoing in the northwest region of the country. We are talking about clashes between Amba and military in Buru division of the northwest region of Cameroon. According to the newspaper, the fresh clashes leave villages, homes in smoke, and many fear dead. Others are slaughtered. Villagers take refuge in farms, bushes in the heart of rainy season, and soldiers not happy with the ongoing atrocities but follow orders from Yaoundé, according to the Post newspaper. Let's talk about the final journey to eternity of the first vice speaker of the National Assembly of Cameroon at Lifaka's funeral. We are told family head says adversaries and detractors left to their consciences. You can get more details of the utterances of the family head only in this edition of the Post newspaper. Let's talk about what the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon said recently during when he went to take his COVID-19 vaccine. PCC moderator refutes conspiracy theory about taking COVID-19 vaccine in Cameroon. After taking his Astra vaccine against COVID-19, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, Right Reverend Samuel Funky Foba, rejected claims that COVID-19 vaccines are meant to eliminate Africa or cause harm to humanity, claims which are usually termed conspiracy theory. You can get more details about the utterances of the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. That was on Friday at the Buea Regional Hospital when he took his first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine to protect himself against the deadly coronavirus pandemic. Let's continue with the Guardian Post newspaper, which of course is equally interested in the recent move taken by the PCC moderator in the country. According to the newspaper, the PCC moderator urges Cameroonians to embrace COVID-19 vaccine in the country. The moderator of the Presbyterian Church, as I earlier mentioned, the Right Reverend Samuel Funky Foba, has called on Cameroonians to embrace the COVID-19 vaccine. He was speaking Friday, or he made the call Friday, May 21, few minutes after taking his first jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine at the Buea Regional Hospital in the southwest region of Cameroon. Let's talk about what André Nkeya, the Archbishop of the Metropolitan Archdiocese of Bamenda, said at the funeral of Honorable Lifaka Emilia in Buea. At the funeral, according to the Guardian Post newspaper, Archbishop André Nkeya strikes Anglophone politicians or political scammers. According to him, he said only the difference between cyber criminals and politicians in Cameroon is that the former use internet, while the latter use the population to make illicit wealth. More details only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post is also interested in the deplorable state of Bamenda Babaju Road. According to the paper, the economic social consequences are alarming. Anglophone crisis, IDPs willing to return to the northwest, trapped in francophone regions for fear of going through the nightmare of traveling along the abandoned Bamenda Babaju stretch of road. More details in this edition of the Guardian Post news. We end with the Horizon. The Horizon newspaper this morning is interested in the audit or the report published by the audit bench of the Supreme Court in the country. This time around, Honorable Jean-Michel Ninche, regional president of SDF Littoral, is calling on the Minister of Scientific Research, Magdalene Trente, to resign. According to the newspaper COVID Gate, Ninche tells Trente to resign, but it says she did no wrong. More details in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back in the studio, and this morning we are welcoming, as usual, the special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, Evangelist Mutaga Silvanus Tifu, who is with us this morning. to answer some of the questions relating or major headlines that have been relayed this morning by newspapers in the country. Bonjour and good morning. Welcome once again, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, and good morning to your co-host, Audrey Zaza, and good morning to the millions of televiewers of My Media Prime TV. Permit me start by greeting some of my very good friends who are watching this program right back in the prisons, if at all they have televisions in the Kondengi Central Prison, and those who are watching at the New Bay Central Prison here in Douala. Remember, I was once a tenant in those penitentiary milieu, and let me start by saying, to squander a billion francs CFA, you have to be spending at least 100,000 francs every day for 27 years, 4 months. You can imagine it. And that if somebody squanders money that is meant for you to treat yourself while you are sick, know that person wants you dead. And that person is not less than a highway robber.
We begin this morning with Mutation newspaper. If you look at the headlines in Mutation, some ministers of the Republic are about packing their bags to Kondengi's maximum security prison for allegedly mismanaging the 180 billion COVID-19 funds, money that were given to the government of Cameroon by the International Monetary Fund, as you saw on your screen. Sir Mutaga Sivano Stifu, you mentioned earlier that if somebody has to spend $1 billion francs CFA, my question, I'm not even interested in how long you spend the money. My worry is, what will push somebody to want to take money that is meant for the lives of citizens, that is meant to save the lives of citizens, that huge sums of money, and spend within a shorter period of time that we are seeing from the reports coming from the audit bench of the Supreme Court?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, when you go through population theories like that of Eric Kissinger, who thought that the present population of the world has to be reduced to 1/3, you find that maybe these ministers are part of those group of sadists who think the population of Cameroon, 30 million and above, is enormous and we need to cut it down. That is why they have to go in embezzling money that is meant for the fight against COVID-19. But at this particular juncture, I want to say there is still presumption of innocence, because they have just been suspected that they have embezzled the money meant for COVID-19. But then, if I want to go, I remember in 2019 when some of us were arrested and taken to Kondengi, there is one of those state ministers who said, si vous avez choisi le chemin de je m'en fous, vous allez vous retrouver au village de si je savais.
Yeah, Minister Paul
Atanganji. I can imagine if he is part of those who are suspected today of embezzlement of the COVID-19 budget, what he would really be thinking, or how he would be feeling.
But he's a man of the field. Don't you think there is some kind of conspiracy somewhere to tarnish the image of these ministers who have been hardworking? I'm talking about Dr. Manauda Malachi and Paul Atanganji, who always seen them on the field, moving up and down, doing the works of the government.
In French, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, they say l'habit ne fait pas le moins. That means the dressing of somebody does not tell you exactly the personality of that person. So they could be in the field on daily basis, on hourly basis, you can even say on secondly basis, pretending to be fighting against COVID-19, whereas there is a hidden agenda. Onto a free audit, as it's been demanded by the International Monetary Fund, proves them non guilty at this particular moment. They are suspects, so we cannot say they are candidates for Kondengi, except proven that they are guilty of the embezzlement. So, but like I told you, it is really satanic, it is cynical. It tells us exactly that this nation has been living in total hell, because if the money in question has not been from the International Monetary Fund, and they are pressurizing that they want to know how it was duly managed, we would not have known that there's been mismanagement, or there's been suspected mismanagement. We got, when Honorable...
the question is, when and how were they able to spend 180 billion in a twinkle of an eye, not up to a year?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, if you look at the way most story buildings are pushing up in certain urban areas, like mushrooms on daily basis, we begin to ask, whether there isn't what is called money laundering. This money might have been directed to private coffers and all the like, and some people are building those houses. You can imagine the case of Mebengo, where we heard that he had about 53 story buildings in Cameroon, whereas the average Cameroonian, many of them who are of marriageable ages, those who are already mature enough to get married, we know many Cameroonians of married ages are still living in their parents' homes. And then they will tell you somebody has erected a skyscraper, a mansion, 53 of them, and is collecting rentage every day. That it is wickedness. So it voices down to what we say, that if you have the president of the republic that is not a man of the field, or who patronizes bandits, rebels, you obviously find that they will always give...
How is that the fault of President Paul Biya to have given his confidence to those ministers to manage COVID-19? Minister of Public Health, you don't expect President Paul Biya to leave the Unity Palace, go manage health issues when he has a Minister of Health.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, let's just consider that the President of the Republic is unfortunate. He's a very unlucky person. So we have a bad luck kind of a person that is ruling the country. Means this country has been in bad luck for the last 38 years. So it voices down to the fact that he has bad luck. He recruits ministers who are thieves to squander the people's money. That is why you find that the roads are dilapidating every day. I said here one time that if you look at the stretch of road, Douala-Yaoundé, if they were to make expressway, what they call auto road, in just every 10 years, for the 35 years that Mr. Biya has been in power, he would have already constructed 350 kilometers of expressway. But
those people who have allegedly embezzled public funds, they are at Kondengi Maximum Security Prison.
They are at Kondengi Maximum Security Prison. I remember Eric Chinje, one time a journalist at CRTV, when he told Mr. Biya, we can call him as the precursor of the Special Criminal Tribunal. He asked Mr. Biya, do you know that your ministers are thieves? He asked him, do you have proofs? I wonder, it means that Mr. Biya is a kind of a president that has been fond of laissez-faire. Only if it is only when people come from behind to pressurize that you see him struggling to prove as if he's that kind of a person that likes transparency. Because if the International Monetary Fund did not pressurize, we would not have seen the what they call the Chambre de Congo. What they call Chambre de Congo or how I don't know.
So is they call audit bench now?
The audit bench of the Supreme Court. Whereas the International Monetary Fund says they need a transparent audit. Like you said, we are in a government in which, according to my
means that Cameroonians are bad now. They are the ones who are bad. If you don't have your country at heart and you give them money to manage things like that, you squander everything. 180 billion within a year.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, they are the better Cameroonians. They are the better Cameroonians, and they are the good Cameroonians and the bad Cameroonians. Let's say the president of the republic is having bad luck. He has the bad luck that for over 38 years, all those he has been choosing to work with him are thieves and bandits. So I don't know whether it's because he is in the camp of evil people or what. I don't really understand, because if you take a pastor to be the president of the republic, obviously he will want to work with Christians and all the like. So it's not coincidental.
So these are all Cameroonians are bad people.
I don't say all Cameroonians. I don't say all Cameroonians are bad. Now let's come back again. You know the government in place. I want to be very categorical. It's like a kind of a mafia. At this particular juncture, some of us are beginning to think that they are looking for scapegoats. Those who are not deep-rooted in the mafia may be the ones to pay the price. That's what we said.
Like the letter or whatever that you showed me off camera when we were coming to this program, written by the Secretary General of the Presidency.
Yes, on the 17th of November 2020, asking her that the President of the Republic has ordered her to stop the production of chloroquine and azithromycin.
Was the chloroquine, were they ever even produced in Cameroon?
I was one of those persons. I remember then I was at the Kondengi Central Prison when I saw Madeleine Twente brandishing on television platforms that she could produce chloroquine and azithromycin. I said that machine which I saw that way, it's just a machine for research. It is not an industrial machine that could produce that huge quantity of drugs that will fight against COVID-19. So I don't think that the Ministry of Scientific Research had that capacity to produce
probably they would have
drugs
used,
on industrial disease.
So might have used part of the funds to import now better machines
To import better machines, okay, then it's left on how to prove it at the audit bench of the Supreme Court. That's the Chambre de Commerce, as they call it. So it's left on how to prove it. But as I said, at this particular juncture, we will not say these ministers are guilty. We still think that there is presumption of innocence. But like I told you, we need a free audit a team sent by the International Monetary Fund, because we know in Cameroon, some of us...
a demandé un audit indépendant, mais ça ne nous fait pas quand même oublier pour Survival, on n'a pas oublié ça, les rumeurs sur la mauvaise gérance.
Je reviens. Si vous avez vu, j'ai publié. Vous savez, on est dans un pays qui travaille avec un régime qui est très bien enraciné dans la métaphysique politique. Qu'est-ce que la métaphysique politique? Je n'ai pas fait la science politique, je développe ma part de théorie. J'ai appelé la métaphysique politique. C'est cette idée de formuler, de développer le mensonge pour distraire les Camerounais des vraies choses. Vous vous souvenez de ce qui est arrivé en 2008, quand il y avait la grève des femmes. Il y avait des choses qu'on a fabriquées pour distraire les Camerounais, pour ne pas suivre les vraies choses. On savait que il y aura le détournement.
J'aimerais qu'on revienne un peu sur le FMI.
Bon, je reviens pour vous dire, l'affaire de suivi Cameroun Survival Initiative, le détournement, c'est juste une forme de distraction. On veut distraire les Camerounais des vraies choses, qui est le détournement de
where is the money? You guys have not also
je vous ai dit, monsieur, je vous ai dit, je répète ici, je veux pas qu'on bavarde sur cette affaire. Je pense que nous avons cherché 3 experts, maisons des experts d'audit, qui ont fait l'audit, on dit c'est transparent. Ce sont les experts en audit indépendants, qui ne sont pas les Camerounais, ils sont je pense les Hollandais. Aujourd'hui, le FMI demande l'audit indépendant. On ne veut pas cette affaire.
Mais j'ai envie de savoir, est-ce que ces endettements-là du Cameroun, via détournement, est-ce que ça n'arrange pas quelque part le FMI? Comment est-ce que le FMI compte retourner, récupérer ses sous?
Je reviens à ce que j'ai dit. Si le FMI accrédite les dettes aux Camerounais, sans demander l'audit, on va dire le Fonds monétaire international est complice. Moi, si ça les arrangeait, il allait rester dans le camp. Le FMI, si aujourd'hui...
Si le Cameroun arrive à rembourser ces 180 milliards de francs, que va-t-il se passer?
Que va-t-il se passer? Vous savez, on a des ressources naturelles. C'est les ressources naturelles qui sont même exploitées d'une façon anarchique, parce qu'on ne sait pas là où l'exploitation de ces ressources naturelles, le fonds, bon, prenons l'exemple du pétrole de Limbé, qui peut donner les comptes de ce qui se passe à l'exploitation du pétrole de Limbé. Parce qu'on te dit, c'est un dossier très délicat, ce n'est que la présidente de la République qui connaît. Imaginez-vous comment le pays est géré. Tout le monde vit dans la...
So even the IMF that is crying foul now is equally complice, because most of the countries or those who are managing the International Monetary Fund, their partners are those Europeans and the Americans, and we know that most of this money is stolen from Cameroon, that they are sent abroad. Why are they not stopping those guys from taking the monies out of the country?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, I will not pretend that the International Monetary Fund is an angel. I remember in 1994, when the purported devaluation of the franc CFA was supposed to take place in 1994, the International Monetary Fund, I think, announced a 50% devaluation. But then at that particular time, France swore its heaven that the franc CFA was not going to be devalued. But when the International Monetary Fund finally affected the devaluation of the franc CFA, it was France that had to pressurize for a 100% devaluation instead of 50. If my source is not very true, you have to go for research. But I'm telling you that's what happened. So I want to say that the International Monetary Fund at a certain moment can repent. Repentance is something that is acceptable. If today the International Monetary Fund discovers that, okay, maybe they have been an accomplice in the exploitation of Cameroonians, and it's high time to put an end to it, they still have the right to come in. And that's why they're asking, we cannot give you money. Remember, there are 3 things I said in the morning. I told a friend in the morning, if you want to deprive people of 3 things, deprive them of water, hospital, and roads.
Okay.
And then you've killed them.
Thank you so much, Sir Mutaga Silvanus Tifu, for coming. You're the special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto. You are equally battling to prove to Cameroonians that you didn't steal money. Likewise, the other ministers to...
Honestly speaking, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, the issue of Solving Cameroon Survival Initiative is distraction. This is the real thing we should be talking about.
Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you some other day. Thank you so much for watching Televiewers. The program was produced by Christian Tebon. For presentation, we've been Audrey Zaksa and myself, Lasha Kingsley, for the very first edition. See you tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.